Did you guys see what Jose Ramirez did to Tim Anderson? That was textbook boxing. Granted, he flailed a little with the first one. He got caught off guard, but then he puts the lead hand out, finds his distance, comes through with a little slip counter, right hook on the jaw, catches him flush on the fadeaway. Good head movement on the way out to play defense. That was textbook boxing. That's probably better than what we're going to see in this Jake Paul-Nate Diaz fight, which is about to get underway a couple of hours after I am recording this. It is about, what time is it? It's about 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night when I'm recording this, but this is the video for Sunday's betting picks because this is Pick 5, Win 5. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between. Welcome back to my daily betting show where it is my job to give you my 5 favorite plays in the sports betting world. We are coming off of a 1-4 day, which was disappointing because yesterday's video was the most watched in the history of the Pick 5, Win 5 series. So to all the new viewers and to all the new subscribers, hello, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me and joining the team. And now, of course, I am disappointed that the most successful video of the channel history really was the one where we only went 1-4. You know, it's always disappointing when we get the picks wrong. I see you guys in the comments saying this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I understand that, you know, I don't make the picks to lose. That's never my intent. We are still up just about 10 units over the course of the show, so we are making money. And of course, we just got to do better. I mean, we made some bad picks yesterday. We just got to take those in stride, learn from them, move on. And of course, that's what I've done in preparing for these picks. Before I hop into the picks for today's videos, make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. Again, to all the new subs, hello, welcome, appreciate all of you being here. And to everybody watching this video who has not subscribed, I would encourage you to join the team. We are coming out with betting picks every single day. I've got a lot of exciting content coming up with the NFL season on the horizon. I have one big video where I picked the result of every game on the NFL schedule. I'm figuring out when to drop that, also just making the final edits, but that's something you're definitely going to want to be locked in for, just like you should be locked into the first pick of the show, which is the Orioles -1.5 versus the New York Mets. Now, the Orioles have won and covered in both of the games in this series so far. One of them, they won 10-3. Yesterday, they won 7-3. On the bump on Sunday's matchup, it's going to be Kyle Bradish for the Orioles. He is 7-6 with a 3.32 ERA and a 1.12 whip, going against Jose Quintana of the Mets, who's 0-2 with a 3.57 ERA and a 1.30 whip. Now, Quintana has only played 3 games so far this season. That's one of the reasons the ERA and the whip don't quite line up, by the way, because the whip of 1.30 is a lot worse than a 3.50 ERA is. But in Quintana's 3 games, he's yet to throw a shutout. He's given up at least 2 earned runs in all of them. He gave up exactly 2 earned runs in 2 of them and 3 in another, but he didn't play very good offenses. One of them was against the Yankees, one was against the White Sox, and the other was against the Royals. Now he's facing an Orioles team that is just outside the top 10 in scoring, but we know how efficient they can be, especially with runners in scoring position. I believe they're second or thirds in runs with runners in scoring position over the course of the entire season. He's going to be in for a rude awakening here. I think the Orioles are set to tee off in this matchup. Bradish is also coming off of a very strong month himself. He had a 2.25 ERA in the month of July. And of course, he's looking to get this month started strong. As I mentioned, the Orioles are 11th in scoring since the All-Star break, whereas the Mets are 27th, but not only 27th in scoring, also in slugging percentage and 29th in batting average. So their offense, lethargic, doesn't do it justice. They are just absolutely terrible right now. The Mets bullpen has also been very bad ever since those trades started with Scherzer and Peterson and then Verlander. Ever since guys started walking out the door, the bullpen is pretty much capitulated. The Orioles are 34-21 at home. We know how good of a team they are. We're going to go ahead and lock up the Orioles -1.5 for the first pick of the show here. Let's go on over to our second pick. It's the over of 9.5 in the Royals-Phillies game. Now, the over has hit twice in 3 games so far in this series. The Phillies themselves have hit the over in 6 of their last 10 and the Royals in 7 of their last 9. So the over has definitely been in fashion, not just in this matchup, but with both of these teams. On the mound for the Phils is going to be Taijuan Walker, who's 12-4 with a 3.99 ERA and a 1.17 whip. He's going against Zach Greinke, who's now 39 years old and has completely lost his ability to locate the baseball. He's only 1-11 so far with a 5.32 ERA and a 1.26 whip. Now, Greinke has given up 21 home runs so far this season. He also had a 7.53 ERA last month and a 7.56 ERA the month before. All of that is important because the Phillies, they aren't the most efficient team in baseball. Their batting average isn't that great, and they haven't hit a ton of home runs, but that's not for a lack of trying. We see the guys on their team are regularly swinging for the fences. Kyle Schwarber obviously jumps to the front of the mind when you're thinking of that. A guy who I believe is still under 200 for the season, but leads them in home runs. People in his position, they're going to be swinging for the fences, and Greinke, simply put, has been giving opponents a chance to hit home runs, and that's not what you want to do against this Phillies team. Now, Walker, for the Phillies, he had a 4.15 ERA last month. He's given up at least 2 earned runs in every appearance, or at least he did give up at least 2 earned runs in every appearance during the month of July. He had a couple where he gave up 4 earned runs as well. He's really only had one good month this season. The others have been mediocre or just downright bad. The Royals are also 9th in scoring over the last 2 weeks, while the Phillies are 12th. I know 2 weeks is a bit of a limited sample size, but the Royals are on a nice run offensively right now, and the Phillies just put up big numbers yesterday. Kansas City, I think they're going to be able to continue this. I think they're going to continue their momentum at the plate because Walker hasn't been great, and the bullpens in this showdown are not exactly the best, especially the Royals. The Royals is atrocious. I don't have enough faith in the Royals to cover the spread, even though they haven't been trending in that direction lately. But I do like the over in this spot. So that's what we're going to do, over 9.5 for the second pick. Our third pick, we're going to go with the Dodgers money line versus the Padres. Now, this is a showdown between two pitchers who are on the move recently. Lance Lynn, he's already made one appearance with the Dodgers. This will be his second, going against Rich Hill, who just showed up in the Padres, or at least he's been there before, but he's back again. Now, Lance Lynn, he's not had a good season. He's 7-9 with a 6.32 ERA and a 1.43 WHIP. Hill has not been good either. He's 7-10 with a 4.76 ERA and a 1.48 WHIP. At the time I am recording this video, it was the bottom of the 6th inning. The Dodgers were winning 3-1. If that holds, so if let's just say the final score ends 3-1, of course, I'm assuming a little bit, but if the result does hold, the Dodgers will have won and covered in 5 straight games, including the first 2 of this series against the Padres. The Dodgers, although the Padres can score, but ever since the All-Star break, the Dodgers are scoring a run and a half more per game than their opponent. That is very important here, obviously. Also, I know the Padres bullpen ERA has been very good for most of the season, and we think of the Dodgers having a bunch of blown saves. Here's a crazy stat that I just stumbled across myself today. Ever since June 1st, so about 2 months ago, the Dodgers bullpen ERA is 9th best in the league. The Padres is 21st. So the Dodgers may have regained some of that momentum and some of the advantage in the late game scenarios. Again, that obviously pushes me towards the Dodgers run line in this spot. And if this result does hold, I said the Dodgers were up 3-1. If that holds, the Dodgers will be leading the season series 7-1. And you know what? If they lose the game somehow, they will still be up 6-2. I think this is a great spot for the Dodgers, especially on the money line. For this value, I have it written down at minus 116. For that value on the money line, I absolutely love it. That's the third pick of the show. My fourth pick, and I will admit, I know that I'm putting it fourth in the show. This was the final pick I made. I was really struggling to find a fifth pick. This is the one that I came up with. Hey guys, so this is Grant in the post edit. Apparently, I never actually said what the pick was, so that's a little awkward. I'm taking the over of 8.5 runs in the game between the Diamondbacks and the Twins. If you're asking me what I'm least confident in today, it would probably be this one. But you know what? Yesterday, I was least confident in the under of the Giants-Athletics game, and that was the only game that I got right. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, the reason I'm going with this pick here, Zach Gallen is on the mound for the Diamondbacks. He's 11-5 with a 3.41 ERA and a 1.09 WHIP, going against Dallas Keuchel, who is making his debut start of the season. Now, Gallen has not been the same guy lately. I know he's always had this weird problem with playing on the road versus playing at home, but now he's actually been struggling at his home field as well. He gave up 3 earned runs to the pathetic Giants offense to start this month, in his only start of the month. He had a 4.45 ERA last month, which isn't awful, but it's not at all what you expect from a guy like Zach Gallen. Now, Keuchel, like I said, he's making his first appearance of the season. He had a 9.20 ERA in 2022, which obviously is just atrocious, and I don't trust him. I know he might be fresh, quote unquote, but he's not going to have any sort of rhythm. You know, getting out there for your first start, especially with the pitch clock instituted, I just don't really trust that we are going to get 4, 5, 6 shutout innings from this guy who was so atrocious the last time we saw him. The Twins also scored 12 runs yesterday. Now, for both teams, the under was trending. I do understand that, but the Twins are a very streaky offense with Gallen's struggles lately. I think the Twins are going to be able to get 1 or 2 home runs off of him. That's going to catalyze their offense. And then the Diamondbacks, yes, their offense has been hibernating for the last few weeks, but still, they're one of the higher scoring teams in baseball. If you look at the season as a whole, what better opportunity are they going to get to juice up their bats than against a guy in Dallas Keuchel who, like I was talking about, awful last year and making his debut of the season. The Twins bullpen is also average as of the last 2 months. The Diamondbacks is actually bad. That again feeds us to the over here. I know the line is 8.5. Maybe you would like it better if it was at 8, but I do trust we're going to get 9 runs here. So we are taking the over of 8.5 for the 4th pick of the show. Before I get into the 5th and final pick, one reminder, guys, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I know that I've said it on the last few shows. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I will be giving away $100 to one random subscriber when I hit the 1,000 subscriber milestone. So if you are one of those first 1,000 people, you will automatically have a chance to win that $100. That's a reason to subscribe, along with the picks and the NFL content we've got along the way. My 5th and final pick of the show, I'm taking the Tampa Bay Rays -1.5 versus the Detroit Tigers. Now, I whiffed on this one yesterday because not only did the Rays fail to cover, but they actually lost outright. The Tigers won 4-2. However, I'm doubling back for it. I'm keen to get the Rays run line here in the spot. Tyler Glasnow's on the mound for the Rays. He's 5-3 with a 3.15 ERA and a 1.08 WHIP this season, taking on Matt Manning, who's 3-3 with a 4.53 ERA and a 1.11 WHIP. Now, Glasnow has a 2.76 ERA on the road, and he had a 2.11 last month, so he's been good in this situation and also as of late. Manning, meanwhile, gave up 4 earned runs in 6 innings against the Pirates the last time we saw him, and the start before that, he gave up 7 earned runs in 5 innings to the Angels. So he's not exactly filled with confidence right now. The Rays have still covered in 6 of their last 10. I know they lost yesterday, but still, point stands, they've been trending in a positive direction as far as the run line goes. And their offense has been getting better. That was just the 3rd time in the last 10 games that they failed to score 4 runs. I trust what we've been seeing from them as of late, even if they were disappointing yesterday. The Rays bullpen is also great. They're not great. They're excellent. Meanwhile, the Tigers is terrible. So I'm going to take the Rays here. I'm going to trust them to get this one done. And that's the 5th and final pick of the show. Let's do the final rundown here. I started off with the Baltimore Orioles -1.5 versus the New York Mets. Then we go Royals-Phillies over 9.5 runs. 3rd pick is Dodgers money line versus the Padres. Then we go Diamondbacks Twins over 8.5 runs. And we finished it off Rays -1.5 versus the Tigers. Guys, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to go ahead and get this edited and go try to catch that Jake Paul fight. I have got Jake in. I'm going to go Jake via decision. I think a TKO is possible. I don't see a knockout happening. And I'm not a Jake Paul fan, but I don't think Nate Diaz is really here to fight. I wasn't picking Nate before I saw him at the weigh-in, and then I saw him with his shirt off. My God, I look a lot better than Nate Diaz does. Now, I'm not saying I would beat Jake Paul, but I would certainly win a body. I would win the Instagram. How about that? I would win the Instagram challenge versus Nate Diaz. So yeah, I've got Jake in a decision, probably a unanimous decision. But, honestly, who knows? I would take Jose Ramirez to beat both of them. How about that? I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. But until then, have a great day.